Hey guys, Adrian for smartermedia.org, and this is vlog number 10. So, again, nothing fancy, nothing edited. I'm actually shooting this on the iSight of my MacBook Air. I'm going to start using some new camera, or not new camera, but this is some old equipment that I got set up. My 1080p JVC Vario, mini tripod and stuff, so I'm going to be testing this out in videos. I never was able to use this because I never had the battery for the charger, so, until recently. And I just broke, or not broke, but I dismantled the tripod there. But anyways, I'm shooting on my MacBook Air. For those of you who don't know, if you follow my main channel, you can see I unboxed some new Macs, two new Macs, recently, and I'm using the MacBook Air on my online to test out this new, some new QuickTime features and stuff like that. So I want to see how it shoots. I know the quality isn't, again, it's lackluster, but it's been a while. It's been 3 weeks about, and I'd imagine I'd be less busy with no school. But obviously, with the days off I get now, um, I've been kind of just last week. I've been kind of spending my time organizing what I want to do. In the envision that I am finishing school in a couple of months, or still like 6+ months, or was it 9? Yeah, it's still still a while. Um, but still a better part of the year to go, and then I'm finished with school. Finished with high school, I'll graduate. If you've seen my other videos, I don't plan on going to college. I plan to continue what I do, working from home as a self business. Hopefully, selling my web startup and moving on to better things as I get to the states. I was reading a great article over at first off, I listened to a podcast called Five by at the 5x5 TV network by Merlin Mann and Dan Benjamin. It's called Back to Work. It's a really awesome podcast on productivity and all that. And like I said, I was following a lot of Merlin Mann's old work, and I went back to his old site that he used to. He still has updates on there, but it's kind of fallen behind. I don't think he really tends to. It's called 43 Folders. It has a lot of organizational tips and all that. And like I said, I was trying to get some of my ducks in order recently, especially. There was an interesting post I saw there on talking about fear, and this is something that he does a lot, and understanding, the fear of failure and just fear as a motivator in general. And I think it's really led me in the last couple of months to kind of do the stuff I want to do otherwise. Yesterday, for example, was the Apple keynote. They released the new iPhone 5. And prior to that, it's one of my biggest traffic days. It's one of my biggest work days in that I get a lot of stuff done. I cover it from 2 a.m. to 6 in the morning, so I'm up all night. And that day, that the morning before, I was actually, or not technically the day before, yeah, it'd be the day before, I was redesigning the website. I worked on redesigning the site where that it was a huge risk in that you don't know, this is one of your biggest days, and you're going to change the design of the site, and you don't know how the users are going to react, and and that in its own aspect is fear. I'm scared of how the community will react. I'm scared how it's going to work out, how it's going to pan out on one of the biggest tech news stories of the year. Um, and it worked out fine. Everything worked out. I went for a more simpler approach with the website. I went for a more minimalistic, where users can kind of get in and get out. And in the end, that fear was turned into a success. It worked out, and I think that I've gotten more compliments on this design than the previous design. So this one definitely worked out. This theme was it's working out great, and the site is just, I think, more efficiently running this way, and more of a image I want digital dojos to represent. Anyways, um, that's exactly a lot about what Merlin Mann talks about, and overcoming the fear of failure. And there's a quote that he said where, the cost of failure isn't a saber-toothed tiger that's going to eat you. The cost of failure really is nothing, that the worst thing that can happen to you is that you fail and nobody will even notice. I think it's really interesting to think, when it comes to entrepreneur, I like to give a lot of talks about entrepreneur, to entrepreneurs, aspiring people who are doing startups, vlogs, whatever. Maybe it's getting on camera. Maybe it's doing what I do and doing vlogs to the internet. Maybe you have a message, but you're afraid to sit on camera and record yourself and deliver that message. That's a fear. Public speaking. It's one of the top fears. Um, and in a way, this may be different. I'm publicly speaking to whoever. Maybe it'd be thousands, maybe it'd be millions, maybe it'd be hundreds or 10 people. I never know, because it depends on the internet and how people view this. But maybe you're speaking in front of a crowd. Public. I think, what is it? More people are afraid of public speaking than death, I believe, if the stats are still correct. So I mean, it's funny because even at death, how Steve Jobs was quoted saying at his keynote, or not keynote, but his Stanford speech. Everybody doesn't want to die. Even the people who want to die, or people who want to go to heaven, don't want to die to get there. And again, that's fear. And to say that fear is just something I think that is a huge motivator, and there's the irony in that it's a motivator and it's something that holds you back. It's something that keeps you from doing the things you should do anyway. So, fear in a way is it's that comfort zone. It's that thing that kind of keeps you kind of balanced. I like to think because you tend to weigh out options more likely when you're scared of something. But sometimes there's those situations where you just gotta throw that stuff away and kind of just jump in and risk it. And much like with the design thing, I didn't really roll out a test or a time period, and it's not something I've been working on for quite too long. But it was just something that hit me, like this thing that I said, hey, this isn't what I wanted digital dojos to be, and I shifted the image around of the site, um, and that's just something that was on the fly. A decision just made just like that, and I think a lot with entrepreneur and all of that you need to learn that fear is going to be a motivator just as much as it's going to be something that you are, that you are held back by. Um, it causes us to take risks, see stuff as a life or death situation, etc., etc. But in the end, it's just something you need to go for. In the end, it's something you need to do, and in the end, your outcome, the ends justify the means. You will either fail or succeed. And that's what a lot of people say, but I like to think of it more as you just succeed in that. Every failure, in my opinion, I don't really like the word failure because I think, and if anything I've learned through working online and doing all the stuff that I've done, is you're going to fail, yeah, but every failure along the way, you're going to learn something. You're going to carry on something from one thing to the next. And much like me, I've failed in a lot of stuff, and in that aspect, I get to tell other people like you guys, what didn't work, what worked for me, and sort out the bad from the good. And in that aspect, it's a success to me. So my own failures justify the means in the end. Anyways, I thought it's a little good topic just to talk about in a vlog. Love to hear what you guys think is your motivators. What does fear you stop? What does fear stop you from doing? What does fear motivate you to do? In both aspects. So I'd love to hear you guys' perspective on it. Thanks a lot for watching. And I'm pretty tired, but I got a lot of work for the night, so I'm gonna go make another round of coffee. And I will catch you guys in the next vlog.